Well, you're here because you filled out a survey about a guy and he scored a C. In many important ways, this guy is falling short. Welcome to the Strong Brew, where you get answers to questions you're not supposed to ask. These are some things you may want to know about the man in your life. If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure? Will he try and use money to control you? Will he share housework or just make you do it all? In fights, when he gets angry, does he get aggressive? During intimacy, does he understand that no means no? Is he jealous, suspicious, or possessive? Will his attitude towards you change after having kids? Will he treat your parents with respect? What if you have conflicts with his parents? We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. These are things nobody else will tell you, things that are important for your future. This is a safe space for truth. No judgment, no platitudes, no login, no payment either. Our questions are from real life, but our answers come from science. Now, I built this thing, me and my husband, and honestly, we built it and we live it. We are both Stanford grads, we both have worked at Google, and we've been happily together since 1998. Along the way, we've added a son, now 13, and 4 dogs. We are genuine folks. If you're a woman trying to understand any man in your life, here is how it works. Go to www.thestrongbrew.life. Click on the Understand a Guy button there. Answer 10 questions about him. Watch a video tailored to your guy. That's all there is to it. It is completely anonymous, no login, no payment, no games, no manipulation. This analysis is obtained by combining solid trait psychology with cutting edge AI ML. We represent each person's personality with what is known as a feature vector. This has 10 elements, so our data is effectively 10 dimensional data. In case you're wondering how we can infer so much from just 10 questions, well, 10 dimensional data is very complex. There is a lot you can learn from that level of detail.
Okay, I think that does it for the preamble. Now let's plunge in. Let's start with this guy in his career. Will he go far or just talk big?
He is more likely to talk about big things than actually achieve them. He might impress people with smart ideas and careful planning, but when it comes time to face challenges or put in the hard work, he tends to back away. Don't expect him to rise very far in his career. Words will likely outweigh actions.
Can he bounce back from failure?
He tends to break down more than bounce back. When something at work doesn't go as planned, he easily gets upset and may become anxious or irritated. You may find him withdrawing into himself, maybe complaining a little, but not fixing things.
What do people at work think of him? Do they like him?
People at work usually find him polite and easy to talk to on the surface, so he's not the type to pick open fights or cause loud scenes. He tries to keep order and avoid arguments, but he can be quite sensitive and easily upset if things don't go his way. He's not a troublemaker, but he's not the heart of the team either.
If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure?
If you soar in your career, he may struggle to feel truly happy for you. On the outside, he'll act polite and say nice things, but inside, your success might make him feel left behind or small. Instead of cheering you on, he may become distant, keeping his feelings to himself or quietly pulling away.
What if you start earning more than him?
Yes, he is likely to feel unsettled and perhaps even resentful if you earn more than him. He might not fight or argue about it openly, but you could sense a distance or a quiet discomfort. He might become withdrawn, moody, or make less effort to connect. He struggles to handle feeling overshadowed.
Next, let's talk about how he is with money. Does he overspend? Is he reckless with money?
He's quite careful with money and prefers things to be organized and planned out. He's not the type to buy things on a whim or take big financial risks. Even if he sometimes gets anxious about money, he chooses to play it safe and avoid unnecessary expenses.
Does he show off and pretend to be richer than he is?
He lives within his means and doesn't try to show off or pretend he has more than he does. He's careful about what he spends and likes to stick to a budget. If anything, you might find him a bit too cautious at times, choosing safety over adventure.
Is he too generous, too stingy, or just right?
He leans more towards being tight with both money and his feelings. While he isn't harsh, he rarely goes out of his way to help or give extra, either with gifts or emotional support. Even in relationships, he isn't the type to shower you with surprises or warm gestures.
Will he use money to try and control you?
He is likely to be open and organized about money, not secretive or controlling. He prefers to keep things clear and straightforward, so you'll probably know where the family stands when it comes to bills or savings. He may like things to be done his way, but he's not hiding anything or making you feel shut out.
Let's see how this guy is with sharing housework. Will he share housework or just make you do it?
He believes in keeping things organized, but he's not very assertive, so he's unlikely to fight for sharing chores or push you to do everything yourself. Instead, he may quietly expect certain routines to be followed, including you handling most housework, unless you clearly discuss and set different rules together. If you want chores to be shared, you'll need to speak up and set clear boundaries, as he won't take initiative on his own.
Will he help you or just boss you around and tell you what to do?
He is more likely to help by watching or giving instructions rather than getting his hands dirty. He prefers things to be done in an orderly way, but instead of pitching in on his own, he'll often wait until you ask or just quietly expect you to handle it. Otherwise, he might end up sitting on the sidelines.
Now let's see about how this guy is during fights. In fights, does he try to understand your views or just win the fight?
He usually avoids arguing and rarely stands his ground, but he also doesn't go out of his way to deeply understand your side. When problems come up, he's more likely to keep quiet, withdraw, or agree on the surface just to keep the peace. Instead of open talks for understanding, he often shuts down or keeps his feelings hidden.
Does he become aggressive when angry?
When he's angry, he won't usually shout or act aggressive, and he tries to stay polite even if he's upset. However, his anger comes out in other ways, like suddenly going silent, sulking, or avoiding you. He will rarely say cruel or harsh things, but his quiet distance can still hurt and make you feel pushed away.
Does he have a bad temper?
Yes, he does get upset quickly, even over small things. His temper shows up as mood swings, sudden irritability, or going silent rather than loud arguments. Over time, living with this can wear you down, making home feel stressful instead of safe.
Will he say sorry and accept his mistakes?
He finds it hard to say sorry or openly take responsibility when things go wrong. If there's a problem, he's more likely to pull away, go silent, or quietly hope the matter will just disappear. This can leave you feeling unheard and carrying more of the emotional load.
Next, let's talk about intimacy and physical chemistry. During intimacy, does he respect your boundaries? Does he get that no means no?
Yes, he is likely to respect your boundaries and understands that no means no. He prefers to avoid conflict and wants to keep things polite, so pushing you or ignoring your wishes isn't his style. If you tell him firmly what you're not comfortable with, he will pull back rather than argue or test your limits. With him, you're unlikely to face pressure or disrespect when you say no.
If you are not in the mood for intimacy, will he react badly?
Yes, he is the type who might quietly take it personally if you're not in the mood for intimacy. He won't argue or complain out loud, but you may notice a shift. He could become moody, withdrawn, or give you the silent treatment. Open communication will be key, but it's something he finds hard to do.
Can you trust him not to shame you or share your private moments, maybe love letters, photos, or videos, even after a breakup or a bad fight?
Yes, you can trust him to keep private moments safe and not use them against you later. He's polite and prefers to avoid open conflict or causing embarrassment. His main reaction to problems is to pull away quietly, not to bring up private details in anger.
Is he loyal or is he likely to want to have affairs?
He's likely to be faithful rather than easily distracted by other women. He values routine and prefers safe, predictable situations over chasing excitement or new attention. If you value loyalty and don't mind that he's a bit reserved, you'll find his faithfulness reassuring.
Will he be jealous, suspicious, and try to control you?
No, he isn't usually over possessive or controlling. He tends to keep to himself and isn't likely to watch your every move or question you about your friends or choices. He's not the type to control your actions or demand constant updates.
This guy says he is protective in a good way. Is he actually just being possessive?
No, his protective side is not a cover for being controlling. He prefers keeping peace and order, but that doesn't mean he wants to make all the rules or limit your freedom. You won't find him bossing you around or setting strict boundaries. His way is quiet and gentle, sometimes even distant.
Now, onto the topic of kids and how this guy will be as a father. If you guys have kids, will he make you do most of the work?
He will most likely expect you to do most of the work unless you clearly ask for help or divide things together. On his own, he isn't the type to step up and share the load or take charge with the kids. Without this, the daily responsibilities of parenting may end up falling mostly on your shoulders.
Kids are very messy. Will he lose his temper with them?
He is likely to lose his temper when the kids mess up or get upset, especially if they disturb his sense of order or routine. Even small mistakes or noisy moments can make him quickly irritated or moody. While he won't be extremely aggressive, the atmosphere can turn uncomfortable when he's upset.
If you guys have kids, will he still support your career?
He may not actively support your role as both a mother and your own person unless you clearly speak up about your needs. He focuses on routines and what he expects at home and may overlook your personal goals, dreams, or need for space outside of motherhood. His style is more about keeping things steady rather than celebrating your individuality.
Will this man say one thing early on, maybe while dating, and then later after kids and marriage change his tune and try to make you give up your career?
Yes, he could be the kind of man who supports your career on the surface, but quietly expects you to shift your focus to home and children after having a child. He likes routines and traditional roles. So when life changes, he may assume you'll naturally take on more work at home without clear discussion. This isn't likely to be a loud argument. It's more about unspoken expectations and habits.
Next, let's see how this guy treats your parents. Will he be respectful with your parents?
He will most likely act polite on the surface, but real warmth will be missing. He knows how to behave respectfully and will not create any drama, but don't expect him to build a close, loving bond with your parents. Still, you won't need to worry about disrespect or open conflict from him. He's more likely to quietly expect your family to fit into his routines rather than make big adjustments himself.
What if your family creates stress or interferes a bit in your lives?
If your family creates stress or interferes, he's more likely to become tense or withdrawn rather than handle things calmly. Instead of stepping in to smooth things over, he might get moody, go silent, or quietly distance himself from the situation. So he won't explode, but he also won't bring peace and ease into tense family moments.
Then let's analyze the role this guy's family will play in your life. Is this man modern with you but a completely different person when other people, say his parents or bosses, are around?
Yes, he is quite likely to expect you to be modern with him in private, but switch to a traditional supportive wife role in front of his relatives. At home, he may not openly demand certain behavior, but when family or relatives are around, he quietly expects you to follow customs, dress a certain way, and act by old fashioned rules, even if he never says it directly. This shift won't be forced with harsh words, but you'll feel the silent pressure to fit in and keep up appearances.
If there is tension between you and his parents, will he support you?
If there's tension, he's much more likely to stay out of it rather than stand up for you or side openly with anyone. He avoids confrontation and prefers to keep the peace, even if it means being silent when you need support. If clear, united support matters to you, this is something to consider seriously.
Say you have a conflict with his mother. What will this guy do?
He may not be a classic mummy's boy who openly puts his mother first, but he is unlikely to take your side in a conflict with her. Instead of speaking up or defending you, he'll try to avoid getting involved and will usually remain silent or disappear from the situation. While he won't openly dismiss you, his lack of clear backing can hurt just as much.
Will he share all the private details of your relationship with his mother or sister?
He is unlikely to share every detail of your fights or private life with his mother or sister. He tends to keep things private, avoid drama, and not bring family members into your personal matters. If he's troubled, he may become silent or withdrawn rather than seek advice from others.
Now let's zoom out and put it all together.
So that's the story. This guy scores a C. In many important ways, this guy is falling short of the standard we would want. Being with him day in and day out can feel steady but emotionally distant. The routines are clear, the home is orderly, and big dramas are rare, but warmth and deep connection might be missing.